Right now? Right now? All right, bye. Welcome, guys. Just getting started. I'm just waiting to allow those who I've shared with to show up. Welcome in. I'm going to be reading an invitation to freedom. It is for self-discovery, for self-realization. I see you, Smidge. Welcome. Give me one moment. Welcome in, everybody. I'm going to start reading shortly, but I do want to allow people time to come in. Welcome, Z. I see you, darling. I'm trying to get my other account in. Let's see. I'm doing good. How are you? Let me just come in now. Come into the room. Welcome, everybody. I will start reading soon. I'm just waiting for a few people. I want to let everyone get in. That is good, darling. I'm glad to see you. Let me see here. Let me see. Hopefully you shared to Emily. Unless Emily is here, guys, I'm going to start reading shortly. An invitation to freedom. If any of you are familiar with Mooji, that's what I'll be reading. Yeah. Of course, Mitch. I'm going to ask my moderators to put in the chat reading invitation to freedom. Welcome, SK. I'll also type it up so I can have it. Hi, SK. How are you, darling? Perfect music. Oh, I see you. Welcome, Michael. All right. Guys, I'm going to be reading an invitation to freedom. It is a book on self-realization. So, if you'd like, please oblige me. If it isn't for you, then I wish you well, and I hope you have a lovely day. Okay. An invitation to freedom truly offers immediate awakening to everyone who longs for self-realization. Many seekers believe that awakening will happen only after a long journey of spiritual study and practice. Here we begin at the end so that you cannot deny or doubt the obvious and the naturalness of the absolute being. And if there is any practice to be done, it will only be to fend off any habit that causes you to doubt your realization of truth. You may be surprised that the invitation has the power to reveal the truth so directly, when it is generally regarded that awakening is rare, difficult, and requires tremendous effort. Some even believe that awakening is a myth. The world knows so few examples of liberated beings that the idea of self-realization seems inaccessible to ordinary people. For those who may think that awakening to the real is in conflict with life, be assured that the true self is that which gives life to life. It causes life to unfold and flow with grace, harmony, peace, and love. The invitation reveals the true life. As you follow the invitation earnestly, you will recognize that what you are discovering is deeply familiar to you. For what we are searching for is already what we are. The ever-perfect, impersonal awareness, the truth that we are one individual being, which the mind avoids and denies, is now being fully confirmed inside of your own heart. True being is beyond the rigidity of personal identity or ego. It is timeless awareness and a pure spirit. Only the conditioned consciousness can evolve or be developed. The natural, the supreme self, can only be discovered. This quintessential understanding is the missing link, we could say, in the human expression of consciousness. Nothing but the real discovery of the self will satisfy humanity's deep longing and ultimate desire for lasting peace and happiness. Each pointing within this book is essential and must be followed implicitly. Let the words enter your heart, hear and feel them resonate within your being, the place of their origin. Don't move ahead until the sentence is felt, understood, and confirmed internally. Beware of your mind's tendency to doubt, interpret, or distort. Observe the ease and simplicity with which the guidance flows within you, like water being poured into water. As the invitation blossoms inside, keep confirming it whenever you can, to your heart's joy. Any myths will quickly clear as the true self. The isness keeps revealing itself as the ever-present, all-encompassing reality. Isness, what is? Mooji uses this term spontaneously and interchangeably to point to the wordless, formless reality that all beings know intuitively to be themselves, though they may not as yet be consciously aware of this profundity the profundity of this understanding. Since it is indefiable, isness, or the what is, must be experienced inside the heart as if it were a kind of formless noun. It points to the ultimate self that we already are. It is also referred to as known by many other names, such as God or pure awareness, truth, Supreme Spirit or the Source or pure consciousness, the pure mind, the Supreme Being, the Self, and the Absolute. This is a quote. Don't give it any shape. That which is, or what we call pure awareness, is beyond names and form. It is unfathomable to the mind. It is the essence, unimaginably real. It is timeless, uncreated, and imperishable. So now I'm going to read the invitation. Today, we are here to discover our true self, our very own being, that which is real and in accordance with the insights and direct experiences of the great sages and seers of all time. Through the grace of the invitation, we too will directly experience that the one self alone exists and that we are one with it. If you are longing for self-discovery and the urge to be free is alive and compelling, this invitation is for you. Grace has put this yearning inside of your heart, and so it is possible to come to this direct recognition. Without delay, it works, and it works. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, and always. You say, I want to discover the truth as it really is. Please help me. I want to know and be who or what I truly am, not my ego and conditioning. I don't want to waste any more time. I wish to be finished with what is false. My life lived in the identity of a person feels very restricted and shallow. It is not really working. I want to know and be in harmony with God, who is true. I wish to wake up today to be to the unchanging perfection that you point to and that I witness in you. I want to be in that state permanently. Can you help me? So this is a seeker talking to the guru. From the room of being, I invite you. Come in. But before you enter, please leave your shoes outside. I'm going to stop and say, if you are here, I would really like you to just listen to the words coming out of my mouth. If there's any way you can just try to, if you want to do the exercise, just give yourself the chance to be able to just take this inquiry and see if it just taste of the fruit of it. Just give yourself an opportunity. So I'm going to start over. From the room of being, I invite you. Come in, but before you enter, please leave your shoes outside. One more thing. Also, leave your mind outside, because it will only get in the way of what you truly wish to find. Once again, one more thing. Also, leave your mind outside, because it will only get in the way of what you truly wish to find. The questioner says, but how to leave my mind outside? To leave your mind outside simply means leaving all of your ideas aside. Leave aside all that you believe you are and all that you think you know about yourself and about life. I ask you to do this just for the short duration of this reading. Leave aside all thoughts about the past and any memories which tie the mind to the past. I'm going to read that again. Leave aside all thoughts about the past and any memories which tie the mind to the past. Don't touch any concern about the future. for no one has ever experienced the future that they imagined. Also, leave aside any interpretations about this present moment. What I mean is that we don't need to refer to any of these things right now. They are not important for finding freedom, and mostly they just get in the way. For now, just leave all things aside. Be entirely empty and free. Can you accept this? Also, don't cling to any dreams or desires. For instance, what kind of world you would like to live in, or the kind of person you would like to be. For all of those are based upon imagination and conditioning. Is there any truth in them? Maybe, but right now I'm asking you to step away and leave everything behind. Please trust this. Continuing, leave your personal sense of self outside also. That is who you have believed yourself to be. Now, as we go more deeply, some resistance or fear is likely to arise from time to time. This is to be expected, so don't panic. Stay with my guidance and don't be distracted. It is important to not hold on to any thought. Just stay empty, and you will see why. When we are finished, you may re-identify with your person and its world if you wish. You will find them waiting for you right where you left them, but only if you want them back. If you don't want them, you will find that they were only made of things you believed in. You don't need to create, imagine, or visualize anything. So don't worry. You cannot fail. You are not required to do anything at all. In fact, you are going to discover that leaving aside everything is simple and natural. For now, leave aside even the desire for enlightenment itself. Trust this. Don't get entangled with your mind at all. Simply stay as you are. Isn't it a relief? Now as you enter, you are empty. Remain empty like zero. Don't go backward or forward. And don't pick up any new concepts or ideas. Recognize this effortless place. You are now inside the heart as the heart itself. Simply rest in and as what remains by itself. This is your natural state. There is no next thing to do or undo. There are no concepts here. There is no time, no past, no future, not even now. There is nothing to keep, compare, or accept. You are beyond form, indefinable, and yet fully here. Stay quiet, don't rush, and allow some space around these discoveries. In this unbound space, recognize that you are not holding yourself together. Each thought, feeling, and sensation is like a cloud passing. You are like the sky, vast and unchanging. Notice the limitless space of formless awareness, just the sense of isness, natural, silent, and empty. It is nothing in particular. It is just what is, what was, and what could be have floated by, and nothingness sticks. Notice that you are not waiting. Notice also that you are clear-minded and not in some imaginary state. There is only the space of formless awareness. You are naturally self-aware. Perceiving happens spontaneously and effortlessly. You are neither creating nor collecting. The mind might say, "This is boring. There's nothing here. What's the point? We're not going anywhere. This is all just talk. I understand it intellectually, but it's not helping me." It is vital to not get pulled into the mind's web. Don't trust it. Don't believe it. Don't engage with it. Do not be discouraged or distracted. Mind is simply trying to trick you into becoming personal again, so that you remain unaware of your true state and power as unborn awareness. The mind gains life itself by deceiving you. Notice that the deceiving mind can only attack the idea you have of yourself and not your true self, which is beyond its reach. You are the formless intelligence in which everything appears, yet yourself remains untouched and unblemished. Feel what it is just to be. To be is not an instruction to be carried out. You are not going to be or become. Discovering you are effortless existence. There is nothing to construct or change. There is nothing to add. You are already complete just as you are. Isn't it now becoming obvious? Be one with this knowing. You are now in the natural, egoless space, unbound. Take a little time to confirm, to digest, and assimilate your experiencing. Now that you are here in the room of being, I would like to ask you a few simple but important questions. Each and every question facilitates the direct experience of your true being. They don't compel you to think or learn, but rather to discover. They reveal the ultimate truth. Notice also that the contemplation of each question takes place inside of the unchanging, pure awareness, the limitless space of the isness. It says, don't move from one question to another until you grasp what is being asked. Your response should flow from your direct insight and experience and straight from your heart. Follow earnestly, read slowly, and don't hurry. In the room of being, I am the creator of my own life. Exactly. So I'm going to read some of these questions, but I don't want to rush. Actually, I don't want to rush through these questions. I do have a book that goes into the inquiry. I'm going to read the first part and see how we feel, okay? But if you have questions, I would like to read from the book that has the answer questions because it's pretty deep. This space that is effortlessly here. So this is the guru asking. The space that is effortlessly here, which I refer to as isness or what is, like an ungraspable intelligence and vastness. Are you aware of this? Yes, they have the answers to the question, Emily. There is no formulated answers, but it's the answers from the guru when the questioner asks. Simpleness answer more questions than being hectic in the mind. Yeah. So this book that I started reading to you all is an invitation to freedom and it's immediate awakening. And I really think that if you liked what I was reading from the beginning, it would be really good for you. I want to honor actually that he doesn't want me to speed through this, and I really don't know. I do want to read something else, but let's just I'll give you the taste of the inquiry. He says, the space that is effortless here, which I refer to as isness or what is, though indescribable, he's asking you, is it fully alive? Are you aware of this? He goes on to say, is the isness that you experience an object? Is it a feeling? Does it feel strange or unfamiliar to you? Does this isness have any limitations or any boundaries beyond what is not? Does it have an image or a form? For instance, can it be photographed or captured in some way? I agree, hip hop. Can it have or be troubled by desires, attachments, or fears? Can the isness belong to or be owned by any person, religion, philosophy, or doctrine? Does isness perform action? Does awareness itself think or meditate? Can awareness itself become emotional? Can isness be depressed, confused, or angry? What about jealous, insecure, or rejected? Does isness require or depend upon belief? Is it being imagined? Can isness become sick? Or can it suffer or cause suffering? Can isness be for or against? No, Cafe, you didn't. There is no situation in isness. There's no situation in isness, darling. There's no situation. When you're doing an inward self-discovery, you're going into your truest self. Your truest self has no situation. It is literally your state of being. To be caught up in an external situation, any situation, is falsity. It is not truth. It is changing. Can it be against or for anyone? Does the isness have need or can it lack anything? Can isness be distracted? The mind can be distracted, but can isness be distracted? Can isness have a problem? My ego has had a lot of problems. My isness has not had one problem. Can it be influenced or manipulated in some way? Can it be bound or liberated? Is there time or season in isness? You are in the perfect place to know this. Was isness born? Can isness die? Is isness personal? If it is not a person or any other object of perception, how is it being recognized? You are discovering the isness now, but where has it been all of this time? Can it leave or fade? Where would it go? Is there a place where isness is not? Can the mind function outside of what is? Can there be an outside of isness or awareness? Can the recognition of isness happen outside of or apart from the isness itself? Finally, is there any distance between what you are and what is? If there is no distance or separation between yourself and the awareness or isness, then all of your responses must be about you, and they must be arising directly from what is your real self. Is this too long of a discovery for you to bear? And who would you be to bear it? This recognition of isness must obviously be a non-phenomenal recognition. This means it is an intangible, invisible recognition. For how else can that which is formless be recognized? Isness cannot be recognized by anything other than isness itself. Therefore, isness and yourself are irrefutably one. The mind may try to dispute this, but it is too late. You are already in and you are already here. So be confirmed in this. You are introduced to your own pure being. Recognize that you are not a visitor here. Have you ever been more peaceful, content, and complete than you are now? This is your true place. This is your true self. Become accustomed to remaining one with the isness as isness itself. Bring your attention to it, stay with it, acknowledge it, love it, enjoy it, be it. Gradually, even those initial efforts fall away, leaving the self-evident truth shining as pure awareness, the one true self. Enjoy your freedom and enjoy yourself. I don't know what you're saying, Cafe. There's an and then. So this is an important pointer to the backlash of the ego mind, okay? Even after such a profound seeing, many, if not most seekers will experience a backlash from the ego mind due to the force of habit that reflects to re-identify as a personal self will keep arising from time to time. But if you remain impersonal, that is, you don't identify with the ego, it will be seen that these habits are mere superficial movements inside the unmoving isness you are. No matter what, remain one with the isness, which is your source being. The power of truth is with you as your own self. If something seems to go out, notice that it is only the habit of attention moving towards personal identity. But even if such a movement occurs, it is quickly recognized within the expanse of the isness and thus neutralized. The true self remains as it is, unchanging and untouched, yet fully alive as the source of the mind itself. Through the invitation, the ego's delusive power is being cut at the very root, and it will fight to protect its psychological life. Whenever it finds the opportunity, it'll re-present the most vulnerable states of the person you imagined yourself to be. Avoid this trip of the ego mind by recognizing that the person, your old self-image, is an observable phenomenon witnessed in and by your true self. the unborn awareness. Anticipate the ego's cunningness, and you will find yourself ahead of its game. Even though the heat of the mind attack may be experienced with great intensity or discomfort, don't panic or abandon your resolve. It is neither an indication that freedom isn't for you nor that you are failing. In fact, it is quite the opposite. It means that you're onto something and your mind feels threatened. Be clear about this. Such attacks can only happen to the person and not the real self. Actually, they serve in exposing where egoic identity and its tendencies are still hidden or being preserved inside yourself. Knowing this, don't despair. Rather, be encouraged and feel the joy of the merging with self. You are recognizing that there is only the one indivisible self. If the sense of an attack is experienced, who exactly is being attacked and who is the attacker? Can either be found? Contemplate this, and you will recognize that all conflicts are between forms, and all forms appear inside of the formless. How paradoxical that our most firm ground is in formlessness. You must keep confirming your true position as the formless witness until there is no space left for an imaginary self to hide or to persist. Finally, all suffering comes to an end when we awaken from the long and tiresome dream of separation into pure and perfect awareness of the Supreme Self. I want to go now to my book and continue reading. The second thorn. In India, there's a saying, if a thorn goes into your foot, you might use a second thorn to remove the first thorn. And then you throw both thorns away. Before I am is effectively a second thorn. Its purpose is to remove the thorn of conditioning and habit which are picked up in the forest of existence and which appear to hinder or make painful what could be a joy-filled dance. The intention behind this collection of conversations is to point to the essential truth of who and what we are, the unchanging, pristine awareness in which the play of the manifested world appears. Mooji's concepts are offered to neutralize our concept from which we derive much personal identity. It keeps with the Master's guidance to not make any tattoos out of his utterances. The words you glean from these pages can also leave your being once the job is done. Their aim is not to take on a cluster of sacred concepts, as it were, but rather to truly assimilate what his pointings were to us towards. When we do, we are finished. We have returned to where we have always been. To change the world is not your mission. To change yourself is not your duty. To awaken to your true nature is your opportunity. For a moment, don't fix anything. I'm staying here. Don't make tattoos out of any utterances. Just stay open, quiet, and present, and the unfolding work of grace will be recognized and felt within and without as harmony and love in service to itself. Recognizing the self. The questioner asked Mooji, "Can you explain self-inquiry and how do I begin?" Mooji answered, "Begin like this. I am, I exist. This is the most natural recognition. This is the most natural recognition and knowledge. The sense of existence is spontaneously felt in you as I am. No one taught this to you. Be aware of this simple intuition without associating it with other thoughts. Feel how it is to be simply present in this instant without holding on to any intention. Keep inwardly quiet. If suddenly a wave of thought should come, don't panic. There is no need to control or suppress them. Simply let them play without your involvement. Observe with detachment. Remain empty of intention and keep quiet. Imagine that you are standing on a platform at a railway station, and one by one the trains come, they stop, and the doors open, and the doors close, and the train moves on. You don't have to get on the train. Like this, simply observe the thought activity appearing on your screen of consciousness without connecting to it. Don't log into it. Thoughts and sensations will be seen to move on by themselves without being forced. Stay neutral. Be with the awareness as awareness itself. Feel the breath moving effortlessly without will or strain. Observe the senses functioning, the sense of outer and inner. Any movement is just happening by itself, unplanned and unforced. Whatever arises as thought, feeling, movement, or sensation is quietly observed. Only now there is less interest and less pull. As it arises, yourself is not aroused. All this is smoothly observed. Even the sense of self, the feeling I am, is appearing inside of the awareness. Make no great effort than is required. You are here. That which is neither doing nor undoing, neither directing activity nor being affected by activity, which is effortless awareness, yet unconcerned. That is your real self. Not behind nor in front, nor above nor beneath. For it is not another phenomenon. It is unplaced, unborn, unboundless self-awareness. Now observe the observer. Who am I? Check inwardly but remain quiet with alert attention. Don't collect any answers or clues or don't collect any answers or clues. An answer would and could only be an opinion, an idea, or another concept. Don't tie yourself to any concept. Turn the attention away from objects towards the viewing subject. What and where is the seer? Remain silent. Remain neutral. There should now be an increased strength of focus in the looking. Now again, watch the sense I am. What is I? From where does it arise? Watch, and what do you find? The questioner says it cannot be found. It does not exist. The Guru said, it cannot be found objectively. Nevertheless, the I sense or intuition continues to be present. It is the non-finding of I phenomenally that proves its non-objective existence. I or I am is found to be without form, an intuition arising from, in, and as emptiness. Without focused inquiry, I appears to be an entity comprised of body and a conditioned mind. When searched for as a form, it is found to be merely a thought. A form of I is thought. Formless, it arises from emptiness as the intuitive sense of subjective presence. Now that I is found to be formless and presence. What recognizes this? Does this possess form? And he asked him to inquire like this. The questioner said, Mooji, I'm unable to concentrate on the inquiry. I lose focus easily. Mooji said, yes, you would rather walk to the moon than inquire about yourself. The gentleman said, my problem is, and Mooji said, your problem is not the problem. We love our problems and cannot bear to be without them. They are our illegitimate children demanding so much attention, and we readily give it to them. Perhaps we feel bored without them. What are you without your problems? Mind makes all this fuss. You are neither the mind nor its activities. The gentleman asked, how do you stop the mind? Don't stop the mind, Mooji said. Leave it, ignore it, and remain as the self. The questioner said, it won't allow me. Mooji said, listen to this. A man has been taking driving lessons and can now tackle the main road. One morning, he is driving on a highway alongside of the instructor and it begins to rain. Sorry, guys, give me a second. Sorry, guys. Okay. Getting back to it. How do I stop mind? Don't stop mind, leave it be. Ignore it and remain as self. The questioner said, it won't allow me. Mooji said, listen to this. There was a man taking driving lessons and can now tackle the main road. One morning, he's driving on the highway alongside of his instructor and it begins to rain. The instructor advises the man to switch on the windshield wipers. But as soon as he turns on the windshield wipers, the man's attention brings his attention to the wipers and the car starts swerving all over the road. Other drivers are blowing their horn and yelling at him thinking that he's drunk. So the student driver says, can we turn the wipers off? They're distracting me. And the instructor said, keep your eyes on the road alone and the wipers will not distract you. So the trainee said, can we at least slow down? And the instructor said, no, only focus on the road. The trainee said, I can't. My eyes go involuntarily with their movement. Can't we just switch them off? He said, no, you must learn to drive with them on, the instructor pointed out. He said, focus on the road. But it's too dangerous. I can't keep this car straight. The instructor again said, no, stay focused on the road only. Ignore the wipers. But it's too dangerous. I'm going to crash, the man said. The other drivers are now shouting, "Get the hell off the road, you're drunk!" The rain is now torrential, and the instructor pushes the wipers up to full speed. "Simply focus on the road alone and relax," said the instructor. The driver, although very anxious, trusts the instructor's calm voice, and gradually the car straightened up as the driver is somehow able to hold his attention on the road despite the wipers swishing at full speed. The driver relaxed, and now there is no distraction caused by the moving wipers. It is the same here with you. Focusing on the road means to stay focused as the neutral observer rather than focusing on your thoughts, surroundings, conditions, or apparent problems. Remain as the observer. Don't follow the mind's flow. You are not this mind flow. Keep the attention inside of the awareness. The gentleman said, "What a beautiful example." The guru said, "The driver did not learn to focus by adopting a technique, by chanting or mantras, or by practicing yoga or meditation. He simply trusted his teacher's advice and applied it, and focus simply happened. Initially, trust, effort, and grace are all required for the attention to remain merged in the self. Now you can carry on doing the same." Whatever direction you take, the needle of the compass always points to the north. So it should be with you. Whatever you do or wherever you go, let your mind remain inside of your heart. My prana question: who and what am I? The guru said, "Don't touch the I and you will know." And now? The questioner said, "There's agitation in an attempt to go behind that." The guru said, "What is trying to go behind that? Drop this idea of going behind and stay where you are. Be neutral." So agitation is felt. What is getting agitated or disturbed? The questioner said, "My mind." The guru said, "What watches the agitation? Is that watch is agitated?" The questioner said, "No." The guru said, "That in which mind and its content is seen, can that itself be seen? Can it be described? Can it be touched? Can it be caught?" "No, it has no quality," said the questioner. The guru said, "And you know this? Where are you in this? What are you?" And the questioner answered, "I am not separate. I cannot say or describe what I find. When I try to speak about it, words carry me away into my mind again." The guru said, "Actually, that's not true. It's a popular myth and created much mischief when believed. In truth, nothing takes you away from what you are. It is your attention that goes out. You watch the movement of attention, therefore, you are not the attention. You remain behind as the awareness itself. Look deeply into this, and both your self-image and the idea of leaving yourself will fall away. What watch is leaving and returning? That cannot be known. It doesn't merely belong to the realm of quality. It is something beyond." The guru said, "You are right in saying." Guys, when I'm reading, you don't have to ask people to tap the screen or do anything. I would just really like people to be listening and not working. So I appreciate my moderators greatly. I appreciate you pushing my YouTube channel. I really honestly do. But making any request to have guests tap the screen or drop purple hearts It's just asking them to not focus on what's needed and why they're here. So I just want to be mindful of that. When we're all just joking around, playing, having a good time, it's fine for us to promote tapping on the screen. But for this type of setting, when I'm reading, especially in self-inquiry or anything, it's good to just have the chat be very chill unless someone has something that they need to say so that I can catch it. Other than that, I appreciate y'all though. I really do. I really, really do. The questioner said that cannot be known. It doesn't merely belong to the realm of quality. It's something beyond. The guru said you are right in saying that it cannot be known. You can only be that. Then there is no separation between knowing and being. Is there something you must do to remain here? Is there a you as a tangible entity who is capable of leaving and returning? Beneath the ever-flowing stream of sensation, including mind and the eye sense, there is only this. The wise refer to it as the soul reality, as that which is. It could also be referred to as the Buddha being, but not the Buddha. The Guru said, now, what further inquiry is needed? Inquiry is necessary only when the sense I arises and swells up to the extent that detaches and silent observation seems to eclipse or overpower by the inner sense of personal identification with the unreal. Should this occur, find out immediately who is affected and involved in this play. Who suffers? Keep quiet. Dive within and track down the sufferer. Is the sufferer real? Tangible? Can it be held in view? As this question bites in, watch the tendency to lapse into sleepiness or the attention suddenly veers off towards some trivial pursuit. These are common reactions, a form of avoidance from the ego. It is as if it throws a stone in the bush in order to put you off its scent, and so avoid detection. Hold to the task and do not abandon the inquiry. Focus the attention on locating the one who is suffering. Like this, it is found that no one is there to suffer. It is the idea you have of yourself that apparently suffers. That's deep, people. I'm just gonna, this is so true. And if someone could at least hear that, focus on your attention on locating the one who is suffering. Like this, it is found that no one is there to suffer. I was a sexually abused child. If I would have read that a long time ago, I would have fought that. But I clearly understand that now. Even the young one who suffered is no longer here. I'm here. Focus your attention on locating the one who is suffering. Like this, it is found that no one is there to suffer. It is the idea you have of yourself that apparently suffers. What discovers this? Again, it is found that there is simply discovering, but no personal discoverer. It is not enough that you believe these words being said. You must discover this by experiencing it in yourself. Only then is the grip of the ego's influence loosened and the spell of delusion broken. The one self alone shines inside of the body as I am. In each body, it is reflected like one facet of an infinitely faced diamond, with each facet having the whole diamond behind it. This effortless knowledge is revealed in one who has discovered, through self-inquiry or surrender, the unreality of the ego mind. Then the questioner asked, how can I function from this place? Mooji said, just rest with this question, be quiet with it, and see what is there to be discovered. Truly, that which is neither speaks nor acts, it is beyond action and activity. This is at the very pinnacle of ultimate understanding. What or who am I? Can what I am be seen? And if so, by whom? Is there really such a thing as finding oneself? Are there two entities acting as a single being? If so, which is real? And how to know? Am I split half and half? These questions cannot be answered by the mind with any lasting satisfaction. Such questions asked within the light of inquiry are deeply penetrative, introspective, and explosive scout questions. Sometimes they explode, other times they implode. When asked with focused attention and an urge to know the truth, they are bound to stir up some deep response inside of our being. I call the question, who am I? My prana question. It devours the questioner. Something goes off inside, and whatever goes off inside is out of your hands. It is no more your business. Like the food you are chewing while it is inside of your mouth, you are in control of it. But once it is swallowed, it is gone. Out of reach. Something else takes over. I call it grace. The questioner said, Can there not be awakening without grace? What is the work of grace? He said, grace is essential for liberation. It is synonymous with freedom. Grace is the activity of the Satguru, our innermost reality. Grace is divine benevolence in service of itself. Forget the answer and dive into the question. The questioner asks, what do you mean when you speak of liberation? The Guru said, liberation is the natural outcome of sincere and steady investigation into the nature of yourself. One sees that all that arises as manifestation, including the personality, is a play of consciousness in the fullness of the Absolute. In the recognition of this timeless fact, unbroken joy and peace shine inside the heart, body, and mind. This is the real power of inquiry, the real awareness, self, as the source of all that appears. The questioner said, but who is inquiring? The Guru said, forget about the answer and dive into the question. All answers come from the mind. I must be here to say I am pleased or I am displeased or by this or that. What is this I? Find out what the I is and you will discover, not merely assume, who's inquiring. The questioner says there is no I. The Guru said your answer appears to be knowledgeable, but it conceals an avoidance of true discovery. Who sees that there is no I? The gentleman said the answer is arising in consciousness spontaneously. And the Guru said, and you? Who are you? What notices this and anything else? If you truly look and pay attention to your own findings, I will stop asking such questions. If you want me to stop hammering at your mind, look and resolve this dilemma for yourself. But you must be sincere. The questioner says, I'm that something, whatever it is. And the Guru said, prior to that arising of the statement, I am that something, what is there? The questioner said, whenever I am into the inquiry, I reach a point where no answer comes. And the guru said, who observes this? The answerer said, consciousness, emptiness, something. The guru said, stop throwing peanuts at me. These are empty words and someone else's words and testimony, not your own. You can feel that they lack authority and conviction. Speak from your own direct experience alone. Look within. Not thinking, imagining, or visualizing is required. Only focused observation is of value here. This power is already in you. Whatever arises is observable and is therefore watched from somewhere beyond. What is it that stands apart and watches? Does it possess quality? Is it a something? No, it isn't something. Hello, darling. What knows this? From where are you observing at this very point? Give some feedback, if you can, on what is happening now within you. And the questioner said, there is something that is seen by nothing, and I am before that. The guru said, be that. Can you come out of this? The questioner said, no, I cannot. What I am cannot. What I really am is always here. The guru said, I come here to share some good news with you. You are complete. You are perfection itself, beyond the concept of perfection. You are the eternal principle. You are there before the concept I am arose. Immovable. From the highest standpoint, you perceive everything as your play. You are all there is. Discover and confirm this for yourself. It must become your own experience. Don't quote from what you have read or heard. Read from a book, the book of your immutable self, this unshakable truth. Stay as the formless. This morning I called you because I was scared. So this is a questioner waking up. He comes the next day and says, this morning I called you because I was scared. There was only emptiness and I couldn't be found. I wasn't there. It was really scary. The guru said, all is well. You were there, but not personally. Otherwise, what would witness emptiness? You were tasting the fruits of your own inquiry. The sense of your old idea of self vanishing was being witnessed. Fear arise as the old reference points erode, but this is also seen. What was there witnessing all of this? All searching is ultimately for one thing only, to find the seeker and to move beyond into lasting freedom. What is it that is searching? Can the seeker be found? Is the seeker a tangible, measurable entity? The questioner says, what exactly is it that I am then? The guru said, no one else's answer will do. It is said only the Stavic mind can ask this question. Stavic means that the pure mind, which is free from distraction and searches for one thing only, which is the ultimate liberation. That mind is a divine mind itself. The wise say a life is truly auspicious only when the question, who am I, who lives inside the body, arises and is recognized and pursued until one is free from the bewitching and limiting influence of the mind. One becomes awake to the unchanging truth. I said, this is the questioner, I can say I have seen that I am not the mind and that my personality is an idea. But there is also a thought that somehow it could become clearer, that more can be done. Hey, Pops, I see you out there. Let's look closely at this. I, let's look closely at this I that you perceive yourself to be. The one that thinks it could do more or feel itself getting closer to some goal. Today, in this instance, I want you to recognize that you are the Buddha itself, that you are the same consciousness as Christ consciousness. You are not fully aware of this truth because you have adopted and identified the body and mind as your expression and real being. Therefore, you perceive yourself to be changeful, as a body and mind are. As long as you cling to the idea of being a personal entity, you will imagine you have some task to stay on as the self, which you cannot do, no one can. You become very frustrated with the sense of being limited. Even realization you will feel as a passing experience because your I is rooted in separation itself. There is the I which arises with historical and psychological force. It is associated with various qualities and tendencies, a mixture of mind and being. There is also the I that arises from a boundless space and which is without form. Discern which is real. The personal I is full of quality and self-seeking. Its self-consciousness is rooted in identity with the body, and it's therefore easily detectable as a phenomenon. That which witnesses this phenomenon, I, me, a phenomenon. That which witnesses this personal I, me, as its limitations, may also be felt as I, but it is more subtle, formless, space-like. This is the I self, shining within the body as a space, silence, intuitive knowing, love, and bliss. I beyond I meanness is the ever-perfect awareness of self. The questioner said, so as long as my attention is going to what arises, as long as there is an object perceived by a subject, there will always be duality. Therefore, at some point, I must drop even the search itself? No. The Guru said, it's true. You don't drop anything. What actually happens is that at an auspicious moment, the search drops you. It is you that is dropped. Keep on inquiring until there is nobody left to inquire. This surrender is like watching a meteorite, a shooting star that disintegrates as it enters the Earth's atmosphere. As you continue inquiring, the inquirer fades away. There was once a great yogini who meditated deeply on the following: I am here, I can clearly feel my being, so what exactly perceives even this beingness? As her consciousness deepened into the state of intense focus, there was a sudden awareness of the most beautiful sound, such as she had never heard before. Oh, how delightful, she thought. But they cannot be what I am, because I am here to hear them. Some moments passed, and then there appeared a blaze of overwhelming luminous color shimmering with brilliance. But again came the recognition, how beautiful, how sensacious. But they have nothing to do with what I am, because I am here, unaffected in perceiving them. Even that which is captivated by their beauty is perceived in myself. After another short while, celestial beings began appearing and floating in space and glowing with light and love. And again came this discernment. Oh, how wonderfully, visibly beautiful. But I cannot be whatever they are, for I am already here, experience their appearance. Finally, all the various phenomena merged into an all-encompassing silence beyond duality. Even this emptiness of which you spoke earlier, even this cannot be what you are, since it is perceived phenomenally. Therefore, you are emptiness beyond even the concept of emptiness. And when ultimate understanding happens, even this realization is watched, as it were, in what is. Everything goes back into silence, and there is nothing there to assess the silence. Silence is not disturbed by thought or speech. Space is not affected by whatever appears in it. You are that. Stay in this imageless seeing. To die before I die. The questioner said, I'm trying to find the right words, Mooji, to find my clearest question for you. The guru said, I say, shoot the questioner. You know, there is something commanding about the kind of question which springs directly from the heart. It does not have to be styled in some philosophical language or posture. It can be the most simple thing, yet there is great power in its freshness and innocence. And so the beingness rushes forth to satisfy its call. Yes, like a deep yearning, like the outstretched arm of a crying child, something within rushes out to meet it and to absorb it into itself. The mind rarely asks from this place. Questions coming from mind rarely come with this bite, this urge, or this innocence. Some time ago, a man came to our satsang and asked to see me privately. When he arrived, I asked him why he had requested a one-on-one with me. He said, it's a matter of some urgency for me. The doctor's telling me I have terminal illness. Then they say that I'm dying, and I have come to see you because I want to die before I die. Mooji, who else comes with the urgency to this plea, I want to die before I die? Mooji is not exactly sure what he meant. The guru said, he meant, I want to stop being molested by my ego. I want to stop it determining the quality of my existence before it naturally falls down by itself. I want to be free of the influences of the ego. I wish for an end to this hypnotic state of believing that I am this person who is going to die. Somewhere deep inside, there is a recognition that what has been believed until now is not true. There is a great sense of inadequacy in the concept of myself as merely my body-mind functioning. There is a claustrophobia somewhere in me, and my being longs to breathe without being harnessed by these thoughts. This is what I perceive he meant. The questioner said, how could he achieve all that? The guru said, by finding out who and what his self is. One must be clear about one's real position. Once it is irrefutably clear that I am that which witnesses of the world takes place, that I am not that which is perceived, that I am beyond all forms and modifications, the effect of seeing will follow spontaneously, perhaps even unconsciously. I remember my guru telling me, if you wish to be one with the truth, you must vanish. You must disappear. Up until that point, there had been years of bliss and joy. There had been a sense of being immensely blessed, chosen as a servant of God even. And suddenly, in the presence of the Master, in the hearing of these words, a great storm arose within my heart. Fierce resistance and anger and judgment flared up. My mind wanted to escape this throat cutter, so it pictured him as a charlatan. I cannot surrender to you. Now, if Rama was here, he I know is the real thing, but you, Papaji, Papaji wasn't instructing my ego to do something special, like vanish. He merely spoke from truth. The force emancipating from there exposed the ego, grabbing it by the throat. It came up kicking and screaming. All in all was the master's grace. The offender was exposed and blasted, and there followed immense peace and unbound silence and a new love, a very powerful love towards the master. I remember that before my execution, some resistance was always in my mind. Sometimes my guru would say some frivolous, inaccurate thing, and I would feel my mind judging. Papaji, that's not true. If you were a true master, you wouldn't say this thing or that thing. I kept up this judgment to protect my ego for as long as it could, but the master's sword was moving ever closer until somehow, inevitably, I came to feel its cool blade against my throat. Ego always has an escape plan in the back door. I don't know why I'm telling you all of this. Maybe I just want you to realize that you cannot design the way in which your mind will vanish. Something pulls you here, to the butcher block. The beingness has brought itself in the form of the seeker to be reminded and to rediscover that it is objectless awareness, nothing, everything, and beyond. Maharaj expressed this beautifully. When I see that I am nothing, this is wisdom. When I see that I am everything, this is love. Between these two valleys, my life flows. Sometimes you will see, like here and now with me, that you are nothing tangible, objective, or knowable. You will also discover there is no one personally seeking or discovering. The seeking is like an impulse for the self to rediscover itself. I'm going to say that again. The seeking is like an impulse for the self to rediscover itself. There is just this expanse of being, a subtle intuition, and inside this, a wave of great love flows without interruption. Be bold and fire your bodyguards, for they cheat you out of real freedom while appearing to be your protectors. Take your door off its hinges, pull down your wall, allow yourself to be completely undressed by grace so that you may begin seeing with the eyes of God. You are the eternal being beyond becoming, witnessing, but not a witnesser. Let all come and go. One day this body also will go, and that too you will witness. But you are the one which remains unaltered by all that comes and goes. The questioner said, Mooji, I can feel the truth of this when I hear you speak of it, but when I leave here, when I'm back in the world, I seem unable to really remember this feeling. The Guru said, if I tell you 100 times that you are 100% truth always, that you are 100% free, that you are the one eternal principle, that your nature is joy, freedom, and peace, you will be delighted to hear it 100 times, and 100 times you will forget it. Why? Because thousands of times you have embraced the idea that you are not free, not yet, and that you are not ready, you're not worthy, and that more needs to be done. You have put so much effort into transforming a shadow into an object it is only a reflection of. Your body was born, but you were never born. You shall never die. Discover this now, while you have the body. The body will pass, I say. Find that which cannot pass. This opportunity is available now. Take hold of it and find out who says I inside this body. Does it have an age, a size, a gender? Find this out and with full devotion and attention. Now is an auspicious moment for this discovery. The questioner says, could you say something about death? I am petrified of the thought of dying. The Guru said, death itself is a thought. All are afraid of death. To live without knowing your true nature is death. Therefore, all are dead. If you take yourself to be the body and mind only, you will die. When you discover yourself as awareness, the fear of death will not trouble you any longer. This is true. We fear physical death, therefore we also somehow fear life itself. Like Ramana, you too can witness your own death. He welcomed the approach of death, embraced the attitude, let the body die, let's see what happens. The body became like a corpse, yet he realized there was some power inside which remained unaltered. In that moment, he knew death was a myth. Years later, shortly before dying, his body fell away, and some devotees pleaded with him, please don't leave us. He said, where can I go? I am always here, was his reply. What is remains eternally itself, unalterable self. Yes, body falls, mind dissolves, breath merges with the air, but the spirit remains immutable, that is so true. What is spirit? Self, the God light, the deathless, the unborn, the eternal reality, and we are this. To know this is freedom. To not know this is bondage and death. The questioner said, I don't want to die. The Guru said, then throw away life. Reality is beyond the concept of life and death. Be fearless. Confirm nothing of this in me or mine. I am the deathless reality. Search within my pondering. Who dies or lives? And remain very quiet after asking this question. Have the attitude, I must find this out today. Something within wishes to reveal this to a mind graced with longing. It is the identity that is afraid to die. Where there is identity, there is an I entity. Try to locate the I entity now and share your findings here with me. The questioner said, there's nothing there. The Guru said, don't settle so quickly with the answer. Otherwise, it could be the mind using a very response to avoid being caught. Dive in again, hold the question and plunge. The questioner says, there is nothing, it is empty. The Guru said, is there a sense of mind going blank? The gentleman said, no. There is complete silence. There is no fear, only indescribable peace. And then the Guru said that peace is as infinite as space. I'm going to read this last part and then I'm going to end. Have 2 pages. Okay. Life doesn't owe you anything. If you take this attitude, then you are grateful for everything. What have you done to deserve 30 years of fresh oxygen? What has anyone done to have a heart that is beating even while one is asleep? What have you done to deserve anything at all, and who are you even? If you contemplate these things deeply, you would not be arrogant, and you would not suffer. You would value life in all of its expressions. Suffering your experience. The questioner said, what about physical pain? What about suffering? Mooji said, hand over your existence to existence and keep quiet. All is grace. If you really had the free will and power to shape your destiny, to create your ideal life, you would most probably leave out all of the discomforts, all that challenges your ego, all that exposes feelings of guilt or shame or anything that threatens your attachments. You would exclude all these and replace them with chocolate-flavored experiences. But however much you try to construct and secure a life that satisfies your projections, you would still fail to match in quality and auspiciousness the life that is unfolding without human intention. A man once said, Maharaj, your words resonate deeply within my heart. I feel their power and know them to be true. But if I am to be honest in describing my experience, I would have to admit that throughout my life, I'm continuously experiencing suffering. And Maharaj replied, no, this is not true. You are not experiencing suffering. You are suffering your experience. The questioner said, can you say more about this, Mooji? The guru said, I will tell you a story. In great pain, a man went to see the doctor. How can I help you? The doctor asked. I hurt all over, doctor, the man said. Whenever I touch here, he explained, touching a spot near his heart with his finger. It hurts. And if I touch over here, he added, touching his nose, ooh, it hurts too. The doctor looked on, perplexed at the man, continued, ooh, when I touch here on my stomach, ooh, it hurts like hell. And then he touched his eyelid, ooh, he yelled again. So the doctor conducted a complete physical examination on the man. And finally, the doctor said, sir, I can find nothing wrong with the areas you showed me. The trouble is you have a broken finger. Oh, that's pretty cool. I is this finger. Whenever I goes, there is always trouble. The eye that shines without identity is the natural mind. When identified with the body, conditioning mind, and the sense of doership, it becomes ego. The cause of suffering, whenever it touches in ignorance, causes itself and others pain, yet it imagines pain to be caused by others, when through grace it is realized that I, me, is the main cause of confusion, and that is only a dream inside pure being. Suffering ends. Identification with this I is the root of suffering. When you have a preference for a certain kind of experience, you suffer. When you have a preference for who you should learn from, you suffer. When you are constantly interpreting how things are or how they should be, what you deserve and what you do not deserve, you suffer. Wherever there is pride, attachment, judgment, desire, there is suffering. When we awaken from ignorance into our true nature, suffering is absent. The questioner says, but Mooji, how can you not feel suffering if there is strong physical pain? Mooji said, pain and pleasure both belong to the book. It is a package deal. They belong to the body. It's a package deal. Once you take a body, you will experience all of the interrelated opposites and contrasts of the dance we call life. But this does not mean you automatically suffer just because the body is there. Identity amplifies suffering. In impartial and impersonal observation of the body-mind functioning, pain is perceived as a natural phenomenon. Non-personal experiencing is itself freedom. Nevertheless, for some people, suffering seems to be an inescapable aspect of the human experience. In the realm of sentiment experience, suffering is unavoidable. Where there is strong psychological and physical identity, there is proportionate suffering. It is the tax for having a body. So you say, I have suffered, I'm not going to fight with you about it. So you're saying, I've suffered, I'm not going to fight with you about it. But also, there are people who experience a deep sense of gratitude or even joy behind their apparent suffering. I won't call this suffering really, because there is no resonance there. They have understood and accepted that grace sometimes manifests as an intense inner burning that purges the being of conceptual and emotional toxins. And to that extent, they remain in peace. Hey, T-Mac. The questioner said, I don't know how I would feel graceful when pain, physical or emotional, is throbbing. The guru said there is no need to force being graceful. Due to a kind of conditioned reflex, the blood flow rushes towards the center of activity like a flow of white corpuscles to the site of physical injury. In this example, the center of activity is wherever the sense of person I throbs, and the subsequent attention given to it is like blood flow. You are not that. You are aware of that. Just be clear about this without panic. If you hold to the intuition, the sense I am, and do not allow this to connect with any other concept, if you just let the I am incubate in itself, immediately joy and space will prevail. Spontaneously, there is a silence and intuitive conviction that confirms I am timeless, unbound being. This is not a teaching, it is a powerful inner experience. Inexplicable. Thankfully, you don't have to write a thesis about it. Something is seen, it is enough. You cannot prove it, you needn't prove it. You don't need to talk about it, not even to share it. You can keep it, remain in the natural inner solitude. The questioner said, is it wrong to contribute to the future of the planet and coexist in harmony for the common good of all humankind? Is it wrong to aspire to be the best that one can be? The guru said, the opportunity here and with me is to discover who you are. This is the highest good. Begin with yourself through introspection. Can there be a world without you to know of it? Yo, that's deep. Can there be a world without you to know of it? If you are not, can knowledge of the world or anything else appear? Therefore, you must be earlier, for you are the observer of them. Even existence is not, if you are not. Who, therefore, are you? Solve this first, then come and share your findings. Afterwards, we will discuss the other matter you raised, if they are still a concern to you. The questioner said, you have not answered my question. The guru said, I have, but my answer will not satisfy you because presently you have very strong identification with your body and mind. As long as you believe you are the body and your mind is yourself, as long as you believe you are the body and your mind is yourself, you will remain bound to these concepts and reject my advice. What to do? Somehow you came here and have been bold in your quest. My advice is that you sit here for a while, keep your mind open, empty, and quiet. Do not ask more questions for the moment. At the end of this time, if you feel nothing, then move on. The questioner said, I want you to address my concerns, but you avoid them. Why are you not spiritual enough? The guru said, since you are bold and persistent, I shall be equally bold. Your questions are not real. My questions are not real. The world as you perceive it is not real. War and peace, selfish and deluded projections of aggressive natured beings are equally unreal. Aspirations are unreal. Solution-based and egoic identity are unreal. Nature perceived as separate from oneself, unreal. I also, as an autonomous entity, unreal. You equally unreal. Life itself, as it is fashioned inside of the human psyche, unreal. Death too, as it is imagined beyond, based upon the ill-conceived notion that we are merely our bodies and personalities, unreal. All is an illusion. It's unreal. The self is timeless and spaceless and mutable beyond all qualities, alone is real. You must look within to find and confirm this for yourself. Until and unless you do, your comprehension of this world is based on a very shaky ground, a ground of naive assumptions and secondhand knowledge. So the person said to the guru, I am stunned. And the guru said, stunned is also unreal. Next, the land of I don't know. In the inquiry, one is not to get involved in what is arising. One is just witnessing and just listening, just looking at it. Is that what you mean? This is the questioner. But then, how do you listen to the being? There seems to be some kind of tuning in. The guru said, even listening to the being is too much. Just be. Just being. You are already that. If you think, I must listen to the being, you create some sort of split, a separation, and now there's a task to unite one thing with another. This is the birth of duality. Instantly, a me is created who must listen to the self. This is a very subtle trap, and most believe it. Who is it who will listen to the being? You are the being. These are all mischievous thoughts. Detect them and reject them swiftly. Questioner said, it's just that sometimes I get confused between needing to listen to emotions that arise and thinking of all that arises as just contractions in the beingness. And then there's a remembering that it's all just mind stuff anyway. Then and the guru says, all these concepts have become very heavy and burdensome. Put them down. If you pick them up, they will weigh you down and give you a strenuous and valueless task to accomplish. Your mind lacks power and clarity because your attention has split away from the source and it's flapping about. Don't split off into the vein. Stay in the main artery. What does it mean? It means remain as the witnessing core only. Don't involve yourself with what comes and goes. Do you require something to be? Do you require something to simply be? The questioner said, no, not really. The guru said, but maybe secretly you entertain some fantasy about being someone special. Maybe you want to levitate in front of your friends or something. Or perhaps it is that you wish, let's say, for the power to heal people or to predict the future. Should any of these accomplishments come to you, I tell you that these will become mere distractions for the ego. If you hanker after such special effects, you will never know true freedom. Somewhere inside you are delaying the discovery of the truth. Give up all aspirations and intentions and keep quiet, and then see if you lack anything. And when you remain without desire and associations, just be still, touching nothing. The questioner said, you say that all the time. And the guru said, yes, but do you listen? And do you apply the advice? Perhaps that is why I say it all the time. The person said, I'm sorry, Mooji, but my mind just keeps throwing up what ifs and buts. I think I have this habit of listening to my thoughts and I can't seem to break it. How can I make them quiet? Or what can I do with this noisy mind so that I can have a moment's peace? The guru said, the belly of the mind is never satisfied. Let me tell you a story. There was once a rich and shrewd businessman who took a holiday near a small fishing village. One morning, when the sun was high and the coconut tree rocked softly in the breeze, he went for a stroll along the almost empty beach. Halfway up the beach, there came up a small fishing boat. An old fisherman was sitting in his shade enjoying the smoke. Good morning, friends. How come you're not out fishing? The water looks perfect for a good catch, the businessman said. You are a man of the sea, asked the simple fisherman. You're a man of the sea, asked the simple fisherman. No, answered the businessman, but I noticed all the other boats are out except for yours. He said, there are no other boats. I alone fish here. I fish at night. Now I take a rest here in the breeze and shade, explained the old man. But if you went out now, wouldn't you catch more fish? Probably, but what for? Well, I'm sure you could sell them to the tourists on the beach over there, the businessman said, pointing towards the next village. The fisherman said, and then what? The guy said, well, then you could buy a motor for your boat, and then you could go further out into really deep waters, and you could catch even bigger fish. And then the guy said, and then what? And then he said, and then when you buy another boat, and then you could employ some people, and you get some young men to do the fishing, and then you could make more money. And then the old man said, and then what? And then the businessman said, well, with all that money, you could build your own house and you could sit back and relax and enjoy life with a peaceful mind, responded the businessman. The old man said, thanks for the advice. He smiled to the fisherman, but that's what I'm doing. The businessman humbled, touched his palms together, and nodded in agreement. The peace you are looking for, you already are. Be still and know this. The questioner said, but what about when there are things to be done, Mooji? Things to be considered, actions needing to be taken. The guru said, let action happen without identification. In this way, actions are pure in expression. Is this so difficult? Thoughts and activity are not contrary to truth by themselves. Do not impose identification. I often say this because some people have this fear that they will become spiritual vegetables, that they will stagnate and spend the rest of their lives sitting in meditation. They see personal action and striving as a virtue and imagine this type of instruction or advice as unnatural, lazy, and restrictive. The questioner said, but if you follow your instructions and just watch the world before us, how will anything get done? The guru said, listen, mental, physical, and emotional activities are continuously in play. The life force is their master and originator. You who witness their play are untouched by it. Reflect and confirm and verify this for yourself. Impersonal perceiving of the cosmic activity free from self-interest or judgments. These are the signs of a liberated mind. There is immense freedom and clarity in the light of such recognition. The problem has never been how much activity there is, or even what kind of activity the body engages in. The apparent mistake is the identification of the beingness, the self, with the non-self. the idea we have of who we are. It is here that the sense of separation creeps in. With separation and an inflated sense of autonomy comes fear, desire, restlessness, and arrogance. I say remain as an impersonal seer, pure self-awareness itself. Questioner said, I sort of know what you're talking about, Mooji. I practice meditation and I know that the restlessness of the mind falls away when I'm doing meditation. And I know a number of exercises that help. So the guru said, you think you know so much, but what do you really know? You have been under the impression that you must develop skills to manage and control life, or at least to navigate safely through it. But yourself, you remain unaware of. That as yet you do not know. Can you just let yourself be in the space of I don't know? Of I am without giving in to the temptation to define what the I am is? Can you, for now, keep the attention only inside the sense of I presence without connecting it with any other concept or sensation? I'm going to end after I finish this. I'm ending here, guys. Can you simply rest in the natural feeling of being beyond separation? Do not look for any special experience or benefit. Neither be in a state of wasting nor a state of expectation. Recognize this unique sense of natural being. No further practices are necessary if you continue to inquire with simple-mindedness, trust, and devotion. The questioner said, after listening to your words, I feel a little stunned. Or perhaps it's more like I'm stoned. I begin to understand this much, at least, that I don't really know anything at all. That's what the questioner said. And the guru said, in the land of I know, there is always competitiveness, jealousy, pretense, pride, and arrogance. It is an aggressive realm, the realm of the ego. I say refuse citizenship. In the land of I don't know, the inhabitants move without conflict. They are naturally quiet, happy, and peaceful. The wise stay there. So, guys, that's where I'm going to stop reading at. I want to thank you all for coming out and hanging with me. It's like 5:27. Yeah. I'll pick up somewhere on one of these books when we continue. Again, I appreciate you guys being here, and I will hit y'all later. If one of you happen to go live, please reach out and let me know. I'll come by and say hi, okay? Talk to you later. Bye-bye.